first publicly funded school in Cañon City was built in 1880 and named after George Washington. It was located where the county administration building now sits on Macon. A new Washington school was built in 1950 at the corner of 9th and College. It is still in operation. In the spring of 2016, we conducted a structural survey of the facility and found many problems. A walk around the outside of the building will show some of the things we're worried about. These are original construction windows, original construction doors, and window coverings as well that are beginning to rust. Something interesting about the doors, they're not a normal height in their wood core, which is not typically used in modern construction. After nearly 70 years of use and exposure to the weather, you can see that many of these have swollen and so become difficult to open when it's time for students to exit the building. With a little extra funding and some creativity, we could replace the doors. What's most concerning about the building, though, is that many things are starting to move all around the structure. A walk around either side of the building shows evidence of coarse samples that we've drilled in each of the sidewalks. This has been work we've done to try to keep the sidewalks from moving further. Structural settling related to the problems we have with the sidewalks are also affecting the structure itself. You can see areas where we've had to replace glass block that shatters on occasion because of the movement of the walls. Because of building movement, we've even had to install rods and plates to hold the brick together. A trip inside to the basement will show the effects that the settling of the property is having on the foundation. You can see many cracks in the floors, and we're even experiencing some areas where drains, the floor around drains are starting to rise so that water that needs to access the drains can't even get to them anymore. Count on me. Further inspection shows that the blocks in the wall are starting to crack as well as a result of the building settling. And even there's some areas where there's some concrete that was poured that's part of the stem wall structure that's also cracking. Though many of the mechanical aspects of the building are still quite adequate, there are some unusual things. This is where our gas service comes into the building, and modern construction code would not allow this. You don't want a non-ventilated, closed-up space to be where your gas comes into a school facility. Back in the 1950s, custodial closets, wet spaces, were designed in the same place that electrical boxes were placed, and modern schools just don't have this as well. Our operations staff does a great job keeping the building running, but one struggle they've dealt with is running out of electrical space to add power for modern technology. The addition of air conditioning to the building several years ago required surface runs of gas lines around the school. As stated before, once again, wet spaces have had to be used even to offer students modern technology. This is our switch system in the building, and there was no space other than one of the custodial closets to install those devices. Because the school has galvanized water piping, one of the traditions is to turn it on and run it for quite a while each year at the beginning of the year to get all the rust out of the lines. This portable unit once served as class space, but after the discovery of asbestos within it, had to be mothballed. The school district, with its tight budget, doesn't even have enough money to haul this piece of property away. Nobody in their right mind will accept it as a gift because of the requirements of abatement. Many of the classroom spaces are quite adequate, but because of lack of room, we've had to take over some vestibule spaces. You can see this is a place where students should exit the building, but it's being used as a Title I instruction room. And And additionally, this space here, which is an exit to the building, is used as an office.
Sometimes I act a little spoiled.
With a school population that's been known to get as high as 400, every space needs to be utilized. There is no class or office space available for a teacher lounge and workroom, and so the administration in the building has taken over part of the auditorium stage in order for teachers to have a place to work, prepare for lessons, and to access supplies and materials, as you can see here. But if you look through the curtain, you'll see where it leads to. The last space we'd like to bring you here is to the computer lab. You can see there's some old hardware like that wall speaker. The ductwork shown here was installed after the school was built. That was the only way we could bring air conditioning into the spaces. And you'll notice there's a lot of surface-mounted electricity and networking lines, as well as the lines that feed our fire alarm system. The point being that classrooms built in 1950 and not having been remodeled just weren't made to work in 2017.